The market meltdown is upon us. Hey everybody, I want to give you this update regarding the market collapse and let you know everything that I'm looking at right now, what I'm noticing, and what I want you to be aware of this week and going forward in the short term. Not only that, some of the potential fake outs, otherwise known as bull traps, that are being set in the market right now. Let's get into all the details. I'm pretty excited if you can't tell. But hey, if you happen to catch my video from a couple weeks ago, it was titled something like The Market Collapse of 2021. In that video, I was saying, hey, look out, this thing is about to roll over and it's going to collapse. Well, here we are a couple weeks later, and it hasn't absolutely collapsed yet, but it certainly is going down, and it is absolutely the start of everything to happen. Don't get me wrong, we are not at the bottom yet. This thing has a long ways to go. This is just the start of it. This is like a little taste test of what's to come yet. The bottom is going to be pulled out of this thing, and once again, we're going to have another March-style collapse like we had last year. Anyway, let's get into talking about what I'm seeing going on under the hood here and what I want you to be aware of. Also, quick side note, a couple weeks ago, I released a video talking about Tesla, saying, hey, at that time in that video, I was saying Tesla was trading at $7.80 a share, and I was saying, hey, this thing is going down to about $3.50. Beware, this thing is going down. And in that video, I had a few comments saying, dude, you're a fool. It's not going down to $3.50, not a chance. Well, guess what? Here we are a couple weeks later, and it's trading at $5.63 as of this recording. I get it, it's not $3.50, but guess what? It's down $220 a share from just a couple weeks ago when I said, look out below, it's coming down. And guess what? It's going down even further. Whether you like it or not, it's going down, along with a lot of other stuff. So let me tell you what I'm seeing now. So over the weekend, the Congress, they passed. Well, they didn't totally pass it yet. It's in the process of being completely passed here within the next couple of days. This $1.9 trillion stimulus package and the $1,400 stimulus checks. Along with that, many people are looking at this as a buying opportunity, saying, hey, a lot of that money is going to flow into the market and equities are going to rally. Well, yeah, there's definitely some truth to that. A lot of that money is going to make its way into the market. However, this is one of the fake outs that I want you to be aware of. This is one of the bull traps that's being set. What is a bull trap? A bull trap is basically news or an event or manipulating prices higher in the market so that the big guys on Wall Street can start unloading their positions to all of these unknowing buyers who are buying all of their positions. Because remember, these guys on Wall Street have massive positions that they need to unload. How do you do that? Well, you create counterparty. Counterparty is basically just taking the other side of the trade. You got to find somebody to buy the shares that you want to sell. That's what they're doing. So they're using this as an opportunity to say, hey, everybody thinks this is a great opportunity to buy. This is our opportunity to unload our shares. Let's start selling these things. Now, don't get me wrong. They started doing this weeks and weeks ago at the top. Much higher prices. They started unloading these. But guess what? It takes a long time to sell 5 million, 10 million, 40 million shares, no matter what they have. It takes a long time to feed these shares into the market. So anytime that they see one of these big opportunities where the market's going to rally higher, they can start unloading and start shuffling these shares into the market. So what I want you to be aware of this week, we actually saw this starting today. The indices were up quite a bit. The Dow was up about 2%. The S&P, 1.5%. The Russell, over 2%. So yeah, we saw it happening here. However, we saw all of this buying pressure. Again, their opportunity to come into the market and start selling. That's what the big guys are doing. Meanwhile, the little guys, the retail traders like us, they're coming in and buying. You got to be aware of this. Now, the reason I see this is because throughout the day today, we saw this happening. We saw this buying pressure come in, drive equities much higher by a few percent there, and all of a sudden, the second half of the day, guess what? Things turned around and went back down quite a bit. In fact, the Dow closed only up about 1%, actually a little less than 1%. The Nasdaq closed down almost 3%. The S&P down 0.5%, and the Russell was only up about 0.5% after being up about 2.25%. That's a huge, massive reversal. So you got to be aware of this stuff. So that's one thing I want you to be aware of. we could start to see this buying pressure once again start happening throughout the week this week, simply because more people are going to be coming in saying, hey, we got to buy this thing because the stimulus checks are be coming into the market. Just be aware, these are traps that are being set right now. If you're buying into that strength, you shouldn't be buying. Of course, I can't tell you what to do. This is not advice. It's not trading advice, investment advice of any kind. I'm simply just telling you what I've seen happen in the markets time and time again after following the markets very, very closely for over 12 years now. I've seen these patterns play out so many times, and we're seeing it once again. What I would be doing, rather than using these huge moves up in the market right now as buying opportunities, I would be using them as selling opportunities. Selling into the strength, just like the big boys are doing, and then get ready to ride this thing much, much lower. So, you got to be aware of that. That's one of the bull traps that's likely being set right now. Not only that, some of these big tech stocks that were taking the market much, much higher over the last few months, these are the guys that are really falling off a cliff right now. I mean, Apple, like I said earlier, Apple was down over 4% today. Tesla, down over 5.5% today. These guys who brought the market up are ultimately going to take it down once again too. So, typically a lot of times, not a lot of times, almost every single time, a top in the market, when you see a long-term top in the market, it takes a very long time to play out for the exact same reasons that I said a minute ago. It takes a very long time for all of these big guys on Wall Street to unload their millions and millions of share positions. So it can take a long time. I mean, several months for the top to come into play. Meanwhile, bottoms are usually pegged very, very quickly. Over the course of maybe a couple days, maybe a week or two, a bottom is usually pegged simply because of all the selling pressure and the capitulation that comes into the move going down. We are not at a bottom yet. I'm just telling you, the bottom is much lower than this. I can give you a little hint. The bottom I'm looking at, I would keep my eyes on the lows, the bottom that was pegged back in early March of 2020. Keep an eye on that low. I'm just giving you a little hint. I'm not saying we're going to get all the way down to the bottom, but I bet we're going to get very, very close to that thing. If we exceed it, holy buckets, we're going down to like zero. Not zero, but I mean we're going to go down really, really far. If this thing exceeds the lows that were put in early March 2020, it is like, wow. You got to sit back and watch that thing hit the bottom, which is going to be very, 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 very low. And that would be an amazing buying opportunity. That's going to be a little ways out from now. Of course, I'll have definitely more updates between now and then. But that's basically what I wanted to tell you in this video. Is the collapse is definitely upon us. The meltdown is definitely upon us. If you see these massive moves higher in the market over the coming days, maybe the next week or so, I would not be buying that move. Absolutely not. I would not be buying that move, but rather I would be selling the crap out of that move and wait for the thing to roll over. Again, this is not advice in any way. I'm just telling you what I've seen. I've seen this pattern play out so many times before. They need to draw some more buyers in so they can unload the last of their positions, and then goodbye, see you at the bottom, market. So, wow, this is big stuff. A lot of stuff going on right now, but either way, it's pretty exciting if you know what you're looking for in the market. Again, I could be completely wrong. We could come back in 3 weeks from now and be like, 20% higher, and I could be completely wrong on all this. I've been wrong before, and of course, I'll be wrong again at some point, but you just never know. You never know. Or we could sit here and chop around for the next 6 months and do absolutely nothing, but I highly doubt that as well. Anyway, watch out. Watch out below. That's all I can basically say. Look out below. Watch Tesla, Apple, Tesla. If it gets down to that $350 range, whatever, I'm going to be watching it closely. I'm going to be watching the broad market. What is the broad market doing at that time? If the broad market and everything else is still going down, yeah, Tesla's probably not going to hold that range, but it possibly could. Also, be aware of Bitcoin. Be aware of crypto. Be aware of all of these things right now. Everything is highly suspect of a big move lower. So anyway, hope this helps you out a little bit. Of course, I will be back with more updates on all this stuff. Pretty cool stuff. It's pretty exciting. I love the market. It gets me all jacked up when I see it moving around. A lot of volatility coming into this thing. But you just got to be aware of what you're doing. And best thing you can do is turn off the TV. The news is always opposite of what you should be doing in real life against the market. So anyway, have a nice day, everybody. I'll catch you in the next video. And feel free to go back and check out my videos from a couple weeks ago talking about Tesla and the market. And yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Anyway,